Hello friends, welcome back to lecture number 14 for our Java application. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the graphical user interface in Java. Then we are going to discuss about three different type of libraries that basically support Java GUI. First is the abstract window toolkit, second is the Java swing, and third is the Java FX. Then we are moving toward a simple application in which we are going to design a simple calculator with the help of swing components. So like other programming languages, Java basically support graphical user interface that basically produce a visual experience for Java applications. It is mainly made up of graphical components like J buttons, text boxes, radio buttons, windows, etc., through which the user can basically interact more user friendly with the application. GUI basically plays an important role to build easily interfaces for different Java application according to the user requirement. Three different libraries that support GUI. First is the abstract window toolkit that is built in your Eclipse IDE. Second is the swing, and third is the FX. So abstract window toolkit, for abstract window toolkit, we need to import java.abstract window toolkit.static. This library we need to import in our Eclipse IDE. Then we can design forms, and then we can design the GUI by using the abstract window toolkit. Then we can use the swing as well. If we are interested in designing the forms in swing, then we need to import java.swing.static. This library basically it is the advanced version of abstract window toolkit, or you can say it is the extended version of your abstract window toolkit, because it contains new improved components. It contains dialog boxes, tooltips, etc. They are look in and feel even the interface of forms that we design on swing, they are more readable, or they are more effective as compatible to the abstract window toolkit. Furthermore, Java swing libraries have the event listeners. For example, you can use the different event listeners for mouse, for keyboard handling. These event listeners basically create different effects in your GUI application. FX, for your Eclipse IDE, you need to first install it from this website. After installing it from this Java FX, you need to right click your project, then select properties, then you have to move toward the Java build path. Then from Java build path, you need to move toward the libraries folder, and from libraries folder you need to add external jars. That is basically the .jar files, that is the open fx folder that you have download from this website. So in this way, if this folder is imported in your Java project, then you can easily access the Java or GUI component. Now I'm moving toward the Eclipse IDE for implementing a simple calculator in our Java swing. So first thing that I'm going to create a simple project file. I'm moving toward the file, then I'm moving toward the Java project. I'm giving the project name, that is GUI. Then I'm moving toward next, and then I am finishing this Java settings. Now you can see that in Project Explorer you have a GUI project in source folder. Now I am moving toward the new. Here I am moving toward the others. So from other, you can see that now you have an other folder in your Eclipse IDE. If you have a folder of Windows Builder, or if you have a folder of Java FX Builder, then it means that GUI is basically integrated in your Eclipse IDE. If from Windows Builder I am moving toward, here you can see that this Java Swing Designer is integrated in my Eclipse IDE, and Swing Designer is integrated. It means I can access these components. So I am moving toward the Windows Builder, and from Windows Builder I am going toward the Swing designer, and from swing designer I am moving toward the application window. This is the application window basically that help us to create the GUI. So I am giving a window a name. For example, I am giving it a name, GUI calculator. uh, this is the package. I need to give the package a name. For example, I am going to give the package a name Q. Then I am going to finish it. Now you can see that here you have a class. It is not like normal classes like our console classes. It is basically a GUI class that is taken from the Swing library. Here it is the package. You can see that the class GUI calculator is created. Here there are different components like JFrame. Its main is different like normal classes, and then you don't need to change anything in this console class. Now here at the downside you can see that with your source folder there is two important files here. First is the source. When you need to write anything or when you need to write the code, you need to write code here. And when you have to design something, then you have to design from a folder that is adjacent to your in your menu bar. There's source and then there is a design. So you can switch from code to design, and similarly you can switch from design to code. So first I am moving toward the design. Now as I click it here, I have this interface. It means now I can access the basically GUI components by using my Swing libraries. First I am going to design a simple form. Here is the palette. From here you can see there is a list of components. There are J container components that contains basically J panel, J toolbar. Similarly it has the different layout. Forms have the different layouts. Then you have further components like J text fields, J labels, J radio buttons. Means each and everything is present that help you for designing your uh, good forms or good designs in your GUI. So first I'm going to create a simple layout. First there are different layout like grid box layout or simple other layout. I'm just selecting the absolute layout first. It is selected here. Then I am going to select first I'm going to select a text field because I want to design a calculator. So I'm going to select three different text field here: text field 1, text field 2, and text field 3 here. And then you can see that there is a property window. You can even give name to your text boxes, because when we are going to write a code in our console class, we need basically names for these components. So keep remember the names for these component and give them a good name that is easily to access. For example, I'm going to give my first text box to a name. I'm going to create a little change here. I am just making it a little wide so it output is visible when program executes. So these are three different text boxes, and I'm going to give first text box. Here you can see that there is a variable text field. I'm going to give text box a name. I'm going to change it. I'm going it a name T1. Similarly for text box 2, here I am going to change the name and I am going to give it a name T2. Similarly in text box 3, I am going to give it a name. For example, I am give it a name result R. So these are basically three variables, and then I am just again clicking it. Here is a property window. With property window you can even change the name of your GUI components, and even you can change the font. There you can see the colors. Each and everything is present here by clicking your each component. So we have given three different names. After this I am going to select the label. Label basically help us to identify for identifying your text boxes what you need to enter. For this I am going to drag three different labels. First label I am going to increase its font size. From here in property window you can change the font size from font size, and I am going to give increase the font size, that is almost 20 characters. Here I am giving this font. Again I am uh, writing a text here. First I am going to write a text here. Text, what I need to write it here, enter first number. Similarly I am going to just increase the size of this label so it is visible to you. Enter first number here. Similarly, you have to give the name to your second label. I am going to change the text. New label, I am going to give it a label, enter second number, and I am going to change a font size, that is 20. Now you can see that it is visible here. Okay, after this I am going to give third label a name, and I am going to give it a name, that is the result. Basically here we basically store the result of our calculator. So I am going to change the font as well. I am going to change the font to 20 and then okay. Now we have three different text boxes. You can see it here. We have first text box that is labeled with name, enter first number. Second text box that is labeled with name, enter second number. And the third text box that is basically labeled with the name, that is result. Okay, so after this I am going to add the button here, because in calculator I need to click on the button for performing the actions for my text boxes. So from here component you need the J buttons. So I have selected a button and I am going to drag and drop it here. I am going to change the from property window. I am going to give button a name. For example, this is button 1 and this is for add. So I'm going to give it a name add, and I'm going to change a variable name text here. So it is basically add button for the calculator. Okay, this is the add button here. Now you can see that this form is almost complete. Now I want to add some color here. From just property window I can select the color of my form, and for background color I am going to give it a from abstract window toolkit I am selecting an orange color here, and then okay. Then you can see that this form basically uh, contains color for its background. After completing the design, now I am switching toward the source window. In order to write down the logic, I am just taking two input from user, from text box 1 and text box 2. I have already given it a name T1. Text box 1 is given a name T1, text box 2 is given a name T2 here in the property window, and text box 3 I have given a variable R. As user take input in these text boxes, then the result of these text boxes get enter in the third text box after clicking on the add button. So there are basically events as the button is going to be clicked. For example, I am going to I am going to click on the add button, And as I am going to click it, you can see that as you right click the button, there is an option of add event, and from add event you can switch from the action, and that is the action perform. So as I am going to click this action perform, that is the event handler. From right, as I right click the button, then from add event handler I am moving toward the action, and from action perform you can see that I moved toward this code that is from source. We have two windows, design and source. Design where we design the form component, and source where we write down our logic for our forms. So here in the action perform I am going to write down my code here. I am not going to change anything else. This is the add button, and as user perform the action, as user click the button, then it will take two input from the text boxes and add these two input values. So I am going to first write a try catch. If my data is not inserted successfully, then it will throw me a exception. So you can add the exception here. First exception E1, I am going to give it a username E1, and here I am going to throw an exception. If user enters some wrong value, then it will give an error. For example, it will give error in the J option. J option pane dot show message box. So here you can see that as you just enter show, from here you can select J option message dialog. So this message contains two parameter. First parameter add, I am going to make it null, and what exception I need to throw is I want to throw an exception that for example I want to show in the message box enter valid number value. So this is the message which I need to show in my basically option message. If I enter some negative value, then it will display an error. So this is the try catch exception. It is good if you add them, otherwise you can code it directly. One more thing that I need to add here is that is basically what I need to add. One more thing here, I need to write down the code here in the for the text boxes. I need to add integer, for example num1 and integer num2, and the second variable that basically store the result. So I am giving it a name res here. Then I need to take the input from the text box. So num1 basically contains the value that user enter in the text box. So we have given the text box or a name that is t1 dot. From here you can user enter the text t1 dot get text. So whatever user enter, now you can see that this that what user enter in the text box is in Java is by default in string, but we need to enter basically integer values. We are going to perform integer on two, we are going to perform add operation on two different integers. For this we need to convert this text box value that is basically in a string into integer. For this you have a built-in function that you can use in your Eclipse IDE, that is integer dot parse into parse int. So this basically takes the parameter whatever the data user enter in the text box that is in the string, it is going to change it into the integer value. So I am going to copy this code in the parameter here. Sorry, here I am going to copy it, and similarly I am going to take my next input in second text box. So I'm going to direct parse it first, integer dot parse, and here I am going to give graph parameter for my second text box. T2 basically is the name of our text box 2. Get text, here you can take the text from the user. Now we have input two different values in our text boxes. Third, we need to store this in our result. So result is the variable here that basically add and store the result of our uh, input. So whatever we input in the text box, it is added and stored in the result variable. Now we want to display this result variable in the third text box. So we need to set this value in the text box. So I am going to use our result dot basically what is the name of our text box 3, that is r dot set text. So set text basically set text is basically a built-in function that sets this result in the text box. But again, this result is in this result now hold the integer, but text box contain values in the string. So we need to convert in this text value into basically into integer value to integer dot to string. So this is the string here. So basically whatever user input in uh, the result is in basically contains the integer, and we want to set the result in our text box, and this text box contain the result in integer, but as text boxes store result in the string, so we need to first convert this integer result into a string, and then we are going to set it in the text box. Now code is okay here. What additional we need to do is I think it is already completed here for our just one button. Execute this. So this is the logic of the calculator. Now as I'm going to execute this, now you can see that this is the basically interface for the calculator. This window appear. Here I am going to enter three numbers, for example 5, and I'm going to enter second number 4, and as I'm going to click on my action add, you can see that the result of first two input that we enter in our text boxes is going to be add, and the result is stored in the text box 3, that is 9. Similarly, we can now I'm again moving toward my design window, and here now I can add extra buttons. For example, this calculator just add two number. You can even for example, you can take more J buttons. For example, I am taking second button, and similarly I am taking my third button here, and this button basically perform the logic for subtraction, and this button contain the logic for your multiplication. So you can and give it relevant name. For example, this button basically subtracts, so I'm going to give it a name sub, and this button basically going to multiply the numbers. I'm going to give it a name uh, multiply. So this is the add, subtract and multiply button. Now what you need, I have already written the logic in the add. Now I need to add logic for my subtract button. So what you need to do, you need to just right click again for the subtract. Now from add event handler, you can move toward the action, and from action perform, you are going to move toward the function. So this is the action performed for my subtract button. You don't need to change anything else here. You need to write the logic here. I am just copying the same logic which I already add for my add button, because just the operator is going to be changed while the rest of the logic remains the same. So I am going to copy this logic, and again I am moving toward my uh, subtract logic here, action perform logic for my subtract button. But I need to change it here. I am just changing the variables, just operator t1 minus, that will basically subtract two number. Similarly, again you can move toward the design, and from multiply you have to just right click it. From add event handler you can move toward its action perform logic, and in action perform logic again I'm going to copy the same I'm going to copy the logic same, and then I'm going to just change the operator here. Just this action perform is for the multiply button. Now you can see that again I'm going to save it as I'm going to execute it. Now you can see that if I am going to multiply, I am going to enter the first number 4, second number is 5, and as I am going to click on the multiply, then 4 5s are 20, so result is 20, so it is working fine. Okay, so and as I'm going to click the sub button, as I have already entered the number, first is the 4, second is the 5, so I will give the result that is -1. Or add, I am going to click it add button, it will automatically add these two number and store the result in the third text box. So hopefully this is clear how basically with the help of swing libraries we can access different components for our graphical user interface.